Hi, I'm Ranger Master. Have you ever thought about camping in the Santa Monica Mountains? My fellow rangers at NPS and California State Parks want to share some tips with you. In this video, we're going to be sharing information about what to bring, tents, building a safe campfire, proper food storage, and a camping traditional favorite, s'mores. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, Ranger Aaron here, and thank you for joining us for our campfire program. We almost got our car fully packed, so let me show you what we have. The two most important pieces of equipment are going to be your tent and your sleeping bag. Let me show you what else we have in here. Firewood. We did our research ahead of time and found out there's also a fire pit. We also have ourselves a lantern, electric lantern. It's going to be very helpful if you want some light inside our tent. Speaking of our tent, if you're worried the ground's going to be a little too tough, we also have a sleeping pad. It'll make the ground a lot more comfortable for us. You can also see we have a fire extinguisher, just in case something goes wrong with our campfire, because after all, safety is number one. So, looks like we're ready to go. Let's head over to our campsite.
Hi, welcome to Malibu Creek State Park. My name is Ilsa and I'm a Parks Interpretive Specialist here at the Creek. California State Parks is just one of the agencies that helps run out of the Santa Monica Mountains here, including our national park system. After a long day recreating on our backcountry trails, rest easy at your own campsite, which includes its own picnic bench, a fire pit, there's trash bins, there's also a potable water source, as well as communal restrooms and showers.
When you arrive at your campsite, the first thing you want to do is set up your tent while it's still daylight. A good rule of thumb when setting up your tent is to make sure you've checked all the pieces at home before arriving at your destination. Make sure that you stake your tent into the ground so that your tent doesn't fly away.
So before you get to your park site or campground, make sure to check for a few things before you even get there. You want to check for a high wind advisory event, so you don't want to be starting a fire when there is a high wind event in your area, and also a red flag warning day. So on those days, it makes it very dangerous to start a fire. You could start a wildfire, and that is the last thing you'd want to do. Typically, you can find this online wherever you reserved your campsite, or you can also see it sometimes at the campground. They'll have signs indicating if there are fire restrictions or not. Over here, I've got our trusty shovel. You'll need this for the end of the fire to put it out, to make sure you stir it up and make sure it's completely out. I did bring my axe and hatchet, and this helps with breaking down some of your wood so you can get smaller pieces, which will make it a lot easier to start your fire. And then of course, most importantly, I've got my bucket of water right here. Always keep a bucket of water close by in case you need to put it out. And of course, never walk away from a fire and leave it unattended. And also, you may only have a fire in a designated fire ring, just like this one right here. To get it started, of course, I have smaller pieces of tinder in there, but I like to bring some sort of paper from home, or another popular item is actually bringing some dryer lint from home, which ignites easily, and you can go ahead and just put it at the base of your wood. You can use both if you'd like and make it a little easier. And then you use your lighter, and then we'll get it going.
And now for my favorite part about camping, making s'mores. So to make s'mores, it's actually really easy. You really only need three basic ingredients. You need a graham cracker, your marshmallows, and of course, the best part, some chocolates. Now, you can actually follow along at home if you get permission of a parent or guardian, because you can actually make it in a microwave or even on a stovetop if you got a gas burner. I always suggest grabbing some skewers before you come out here, because you're never guaranteed to find a good stick to burn your marshmallow with. So, I am all ready to go. Got my marshmallow skewered right here. I'm going to toast it to perfection. Now that is a good s'more. Alright, now that it is time to retire for the evening, we have to clean up our campsite. And what that means is throwing away all of our trash in the designated trash bins right next to the campsite and storing our food safely. Since there are no bears in the Santa Monica Mountains, that means there are no bear boxes to safely store our food here at the campsite. And so what that means, the next safest place to store it is going to be in our car. You don't want to store your food in the tent, and you definitely don't want to leave it sitting out on the table or even trying to hang it, because wildlife is going to come around sniffing for that, and you don't want that to happen. So again, the best place to store it is in a bear box if your campsite has it, or in your vehicle. And now it's time to put out our campfire. We're going to do that by pouring our bucket of water on there and storing it with a shovel until there's no heat, meaning the fire is safely put out. From Ranger Master, Ranger Luis, and myself, we'll see you next time.
It's getting light, it's time to retire. Thanks for joining our Santa Monica campfire.